So apparently now the gender equality debate has seeped into Malaysian politics. This comes thanks to Pakatan Harapan's women's leader, Aiman Athirah Sabu, who has said that the Elections Act and election guidelines should be amended immediately to include a provision requiring a minimum of 30% of women candidates. Parties which fail to field 30% of women candidates should be disqualified from taking part in elections. That's right. She has demanded a change and she has asked for a mandate of 30% quota of women politicians or women election candidates to be fielded by political parties in coming elections. Now, first and foremost, I would like to say that the what I say next has nothing to do with my opinion about the female gender, or do I see any difference between the two, particularly in the space of politics. Growing up, I have been accustomed to many amazing, fantastic leaders. Love them or hate them, but they are leaders of caliber. People like Indira Gandhi, Benazir Bhutto, Margaret Thatcher. They have garnered our respect, and they have had made their print on history. However, in this case, those women, it must be noted that those women did not come about because of such mandates, such requirements, such quota systems. In fact, to me, I believe that the greatest enemy to meritocracy is the quota system. And the quota system in politics, honestly, does not really make sense to me, because a woman, people like Tan Sri Rafida Aziz, for example, did not come about because of such quota systems. Yes, one could argue that it may be tougher for a woman to survive in politics. And I think if this debate is explored, we would definitely be able to see evidence of that. And there will be examples that there are people who would be saying that, yes, it is tougher, maybe because of chauvinism and all these things. This could be possible. However, in the larger picture, to me, a politician requires a certain trait, requires certain characteristics that such quotas do not necessarily cultivate. You would need to have a mental fortitude. You will need to have a certain attitude about yourself. You wouldn't know how to play sides. You wouldn't know how to play the game. And such experience cannot be cultivated in an individual if they are there simply because of a quota. So this is why, to me, I find that a minimum quota in terms of female election candidates would not allow for the cream to rise to the top. And again, let me be very honest, I would be equally opposed if a statement came out that said that 70% of election candidates must be men. I would not agree. To me, I do not believe in a quota system at all, is what I'm saying. I'm saying that Malaysian, as a voter, as a citizen of this country, what I want my members of parliament, I want my politicians to have the proper acumen to lead the country in the right direction. Aiman Athirah Sabu here, while she herself being someone who is not only a Pakatan Harapan women's leader, she's also a deputy minister and she's also the head of the Amanah Women's Wing. I'm sure she did not get to the place that she did by having a quota system. I'm sure that all the great female leaders in this country that we have seen, whether it be in the field of politics, business, or social activism, did not come about because of a quota system. They came about the hard way. They came about it because they wanted to do well, and that should be the criteria that we employ in our politics, and not allow this liberal agenda of gender equality, proper representation, and all this nonsense cloud the way that we elect our leaders. Leaders must be elected because they have the right mentality, and that they have the right vision, and that they have the welfare of the voters in mind when they are governing. It has nothing to do with gender. Look, I think, Aiman Athirah Sabu, if you wanted to talk about the lack of representation of women in the field of politics, I think what you should be talking about is perhaps the lack of representation of Malaysian Indians in politics. How there is no Indian component party in Pakatan Harapan. I think you should talk about things like that. I think those things have a much greater impact on the society as opposed to focusing on gender. The thing about Malaysia that is, one could argue, is amazing is that we do have plenty of MPs who are women in the cabinet. Of course, it is, I mean, in parliament, obviously, it's definitely, the ratio definitely favors men, obviously. And I would not be opposed to having more women who are of the right caliber in parliament. But there are greater issues at hand that you need to focus on rather than the gender of an MP. Instead, focus on the welfare of the voters that these MPs represent. Thank you.